and welcome to the maiden edition of the CGC Show, the trusted pathway to your dreams. We are coming to you live from the headquarters of the Association of African Universities, Accra, Ghana, and I am your host, Adjoa Omie. The CGC Show is a career guidance and counseling show that seeks to promote or make you know the various career opportunities available in various fields of study, and of course demystify your thoughts that some courses we study in our universities are not marketable. Do follow our social media platforms at AAU_TV on Twitter, Association of African Universities on Facebook and YouTube, and AAU TV official on Instagram. I have two beautiful guests with me today, but before I introduce them, let's go for a break. When we come back, I'll introduce them and tell you the topic to be discussed.
Are you an institution or individual? Do you intend to organize a memorable event to be archived for future reference? Then look no further than AAU Studios, because it's your best bet. With our spacious studio and state-of-the-art media equipment such as 4K Panasonic video cameras, KinoFlow lights, assorted microphones, live streaming machines, and others, you are sure to get the best of production. Visit us at Trinity Avenue, East Legon, adjacent the National Accreditation Board, or contact the AAU studio via the following addresses: info@aau.org, AAU TV @aau.org, ransford@aau.org. Alternatively, you can call us on 0244 185 998 or 0244 693 342.
Welcome back. If you just tuned in, you are watching the CGC Show on AAU TV. My guests for today are two beautiful women that I have. Betty Edem, who is a graphic designer. She's worked with GH1 TV and Varsat One, and currently working with GH Music Live. And also I have Ophelia Aqua, who is an illustrator and of course a graphic designer. And they will be helping us, they will be discussing what graphic designing entails. All that it is you need to know about graphic designing. We'll be delving into the issue right now. So welcome on the show.
Thank you.
Tell me, let me start with you, Betty Edem. Can you tell me what influenced you to choosing graphic design? Or wait, basically, tell me what graphic designing is to you.
Okay, I think graphic designing is my passion. Like, to me, I grew up loving art. I grew up loving anything color, anything I can draw. Like, I used to draw when growing up. So when I got to the level where you have to pick on what you want to do, people were choosing science, and I stood by like visual arts. And everybody was wondering why visual art, because people thought when you go to school, you don't choose visual arts. They give it to you based on your grades. But I had good grades and I chose visual arts. So people were surprised. Oh, so you chose visual arts. So I think graphic design is basically something I wanted to do or I want to do. I didn't just get up and say, oh, things are not going on well, so at least let me try graphic design. I grew up loving it. So yeah.
Miss Ophelia, tell us what really influenced your decision.
I guess it's similar to hers. I love color too very much, and I love beautiful things. I didn't exactly choose graphic design, or at least visual arts in secondary school, because I didn't know there was a course for that kind of thing. I just loved to draw color. I drew anything I saw too. My teacher chose that for me, and I had a friend whose mom advised me that that is a course to do because in Europe art really sells a lot. And so I did visual arts, and then after getting into the class I realized, wow, this is everything I really loved. And so yeah, I spent all my time in the library reading about art history, and it was everything I loved. Personally, I don't see myself doing anything else. I'm art, that is me. So yeah.
Tell me, Ophelia, what do you think a good graphic designer should have? I mean, we're looking at the world right now, a lot of people just take up some to designing software or whatever, and then they just learn something and they feel, okay, I am a graphic designer. What makes a graphic designer a very good one? Or
if it's not the most important thing, it's to be very creative. So you need to think differently. And artists are very creative people. Personally, when I'm looking for a good graphic designer, I look for someone who has a good eye and a very good understanding. Because apart from art, what graphic design truly is the ability to communicate simply. So you communicate in a way which is simple for everyone involved to understand and appreciate. And so I really look out for people who are very creative, people who have a good eye to see things and pick things, and people who have very good understanding of what must be. But if you have the first one and you're very creative, it's possible you have the others too. So it's if it's not the most important thing, creativity, that is.
Let me come to you, Miss Betty. What do you think a graphic designer, okay, let me put it this way. A lot of graphic designers tend to be advertisers or marketers in a way. Why is there a linkage or a relationship, something that links them together?
Okay, personally, I am a graphic designer at the same time. Let me say a social media manager, and has to do with marketing. So, graphic design, most at times, it's about branding. Like a company bringing you, okay, like let me say I'm a company, I've come to you, oh, I'm starting this job, or I'm doing that. You are the one who is going to make the company what it is. Let's take Coca-Cola, for example. People know Coca-Cola for their logo and their color and whatever it has to do with it, their adverts, everything. All is graphic design, all is art. So I think, yes, graphic design really involves advertisement too. And if you go to the tertiary institutions, most graphic design courses, they have advertisements under them. So I think they have a link. Yeah.
Ophelia?
Yeah, like she's saying, advertisement is one of the types of graphic designs. Around here, people usually solicit for designers when they need adverts. There are other types of graphic designers too. She touched on branding, so that covers visual identity designers. Okay. You could find a UI graphic designer. He designs user interfaces for mobile apps, and that's all they do. They are environmental graphic designers. They are motion graphic designers. And they are also, I already touched on visual identity design. Yeah, editorial graphic designers. So they are people who decide that, okay, this is all I'm going to do. And that's all they do. I know someone, all he does is design logos, and that's all he's good at, and that's all he does.
He's good at it. He can't
so, yeah, it depends on the jobs you are getting and the area you are, where you live. So, yeah, that is why it may seem like most graphic designers are designing advertisements, but it's the terrain, yeah.
Okay, so like I said earlier, you know, these unprofessional people that are coming up, they learn a few things at their own disposal, and then they feel or they think they are also as good as the people who have attended the universities. They've done visual communication, and that is what they're doing. Is that not affecting anything, your business, in terms of work and all that? Is it not affecting it, Ophelia?
No, I do not feel challenged by that, because graphic design is not knowing Photoshop or CorelDRAW, any of those things. I take graphic design like my sketch pad, and CorelDRAW is like a sketch pad. If I give you one and I give her one and I take one, what I put on it is what shows who I am. So I don't feel challenged by that, because the clients see the differences. That, okay, this person tried this thing for me, but the person lacks a certain depth and a certain understanding. That is where you realize that knowing the software is not enough. You really have to know something more. And graphic design is about solving problems. So what problem are you solving? I get that all the time. I have people who bring jobs that someone else did that they didn't like, and it happens often. It happens often. So I don't feel challenged at all.
Miss Betty, anything?
Not at all. Because if you put up a work that was done by just a roadside graphic designer. I'll say a roadside graphic designer, and somebody who really loves it, who really went to study it, you totally see the difference. I'm right?
Yeah.
You see the difference.
Vast difference.
I'm in this group where it's made up of graphic designers, and most people put in works they've done, like to show off, oh, I did this work, is there any correction? And you realize that this person who placed this particular work in the group didn't really study about graphic design, or didn't really have the passion about it. Maybe the person just got up and said, oh, everybody is into graphic design now, so I'm also a graphic designer. Because how the person placed objects, text, like it was off. So I think, I'm not challenged by the roadside graphic design, because I know what I bring to the table. And clients know the difference. They really know the difference between a roadside graphic designer and somebody who is professional about it.
Yeah.
So you're saying most of the time that people who want quality work go to the professionals like yourselves. They don't just go to the roadside people.
Most people too, it's about their money. I love money. You can't just bring me a work and expect me to charge you the amount the roadside person would charge, because I put, I tell you to bring me a brief. I make it professional. I don't do, oh, okay, call me. Please, I want a design. I'm making a cake. I want a design or this, that. No, you bring me a brief of what you want. Put it down in a written form. Then I go ahead to analyze, brainstorm, and all that. But the other people, I've seen people copy my artworks a lot. The place I work with, we also have a graphic designer there. We saw a post, and it was just the same thing. And you realize that how the other person did it is not like how the guy at my workplace did. It was it was the same position, like the texts were the same, colors the same, but it was different, although it was the same. But you see, it was different. So you see that there's professionalism somewhere, and there is. So most clients, I love money. So when you come, I'm going to give you, I told you I love money. I'm going to give, you give me a brief of what you want. We deal with it professionally. That's how.
What are some of the challenges that you face, like in the profession? Do you think?
I actually have problems with clients. I don't know about you. I have problems with clients. It's my job. But on the other hand, the client feels she knows what she wants. But I know what can be best understood by those you are targeting. Maybe you bring me a food, a brief on food. Like you want something done about food. And I use the colors that best explains or describe food supplements or something. And then you go like, oh, me, I want, like, they have a favorite color in their head. They want black. I've had an experience on that. They want black. But black doesn't really match with food. If you want food, if you want to communicate food stuff, green, if you want to communicate water, blue, like colors have meanings and all that. But my eye is different from the client's eye. I don't have problem with graphic design itself. I don't have problem with my softwares or anything. It's the clients I have problems with. They are very troublesome. So I may do something and I know this is just like I've killed it. But you send it, then the client has this long changes they need to do. And one funny thing is that when they make changes and you send it, like the exact changes you made, you send it, they come back with different change, like different from the ones you made. Then you send it. Then they come back. Then they now want the one you did first. I just
you didn't consult them.
The one you did first. I had one encounter with one client. I'll mention the name. It's a huge association. I'll mention it. They wanted something done for something. Then they sent me a sample. That is what they need. Like, so okay, I picked the color, samples and all that. Is what they need. We did everything, went back and forth. They never spoke about the color. After I have made all changes, the last one, that's when they spoke about the color. So like graphic design, I don't know if you have other things, other issues, but my basic problem is my clients. They don't see what I see.
It's the same problem everywhere. It's the same problem everywhere. I feel that, most clients are not trusting. And the solutions you offer them sometimes really the best because you've had time to think about it and you've experimented and you realize that no, this is going to work. What you're saying is not going to work. And they tend to always lean to their own ideologies. And well, for me, when it gets too far beyond what I can tolerate and the work is starting to look like something which is not me, I just let them know that, I cannot continue to work on this.
Sometimes I go like, okay, I'm going to do the work for you, but please, I'm not the one who did this work. Like, it's true, I'm not the one. Don't say anywhere that them did this work, because I didn't do it. I followed your steps. I didn't use mine. I use your brain to do the work. So you give
your clients the credit.
Not that I give the client the credit, but don't say anywhere that I did it.
No, she doesn't associate with the work.
Yes.
But you did it.
I did it, but I didn't do it. Do you get me? I held the mouse, I held the pad.
Yeah.
I looked at the screen, but I didn't do the work. You did it from wherever you were. You said, oh, you want this color, but I prefer another thing. You want this text, so I prefer another thing. So when it becomes something that can really sell me, I tell you, I didn't do this. When someone asks, I can do it for you. When someone asks you, don't just tell them I didn't do it. And one of my colleagues was coming up with something that this is what actually we put in our invoices now. I do the work for you. You have only just 2 chances to change anything. After those 2 are done, you are paying for the next changes.
Oh, I already have that.
Because you can't waste my time. Seriously, you can't wait. Especially what happened, like I did everything, changes. Then you prefer the one I did first. You wasted my whole time. And people think graphic designers like take time to work. I do my things on work. Even if you go like, oh, I need it in 2 weeks. I won't work 2 other 2 weeks, but I'll make sure I provide it 2 weeks. So you've basically wasted my whole time. The time I could have used to get money, and I'll say it again, I love money. So the time I could have used to get another client on board, you've taken the whole... And you are comfortable because you are not paying for it.
That's another problem too with graphic design. You meet a lot of people who are unwilling to pay for your services. And that is why many people would also choose a road sign designer. Because the truth is that they're not actually looking for quality. They're just looking for free. And they'll get the closest thing to free, which is cheap. So yeah. So many people do not really capitalize on good design. There are few people who know what they want and where to find it, and they go for it and pay any amount. But many people just want to take things for granted. So yeah.
Wow, this is getting really interesting. Let's go for a quick break. When we come back, we'll delve into the issue more. Stay tuned.
4 years ago, like most young people, I was clueless as to what I wanted to do and which institution would help me realize a great career. What better place to pursue this dream than Blue Cross College? With state-of-the-art lecture halls and experienced lecturers, as well as equipped computer labs, Blue Crest is indeed the right starting point. With certificate, diploma and degree programs in information technology, business administration, journalism, oil and gas, Blue Crest is the one-stop institute for everyone who is looking to have a great career. Enroll now. Visit www.bluecrest.edu.gh or call any of the numbers on the screen. Blue Cross College. Education for life.
Welcome back. If you just tuned in, you are watching the CGC Show on AAU TV. We've been discussing graphic designing as a professional career, and my guests have already spoken about some of the challenges they face and the experiences so far. Let me ask this, Betedem. What is the expertise required in this field?
Okay, as you said, creativity.
Say that again.
creativity.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah, you should be creative. You should be able to brainstorm quickly, because some clients, when they approach you for a job, they come like, I want it tomorrow. And like thinking is so stressful. I hate stress. But thinking is so stressful. So you must be creative. If you are creative, you easily like come up with ideas, and you easily put up stuff together, because you are dealing with texts, you are dealing with colors, you are dealing with an image. Some clients send you images that you know, oh, it won't match here, or it won't do this. But you still have to think and be more creative. And also, like, patience. Yes. Otherwise, you suck all your clients away. It's true, you suck all your clients away if you can add up.
Miss Sophie, tell us.
Apart from creativity and patience, I think also a good mastery of your tools, your softwares that you use is also very necessary. Because what's the use of being creative if you cannot translate it for it to be used? So you need to learn what needs to be learned. And I think a lot of people already have that base covered. They just need to cover the creativity bit. So your illustrators, Photoshop, CorelDRAWs, Lightrooms, and whatever other software there is to be used. If you have that base covered, it's also very necessary. And as she's saying, you have to have good people skills. Once again, it's a job for people and about people and to people. So kind of like democracy anyway. But yes, you need to know how to communicate well with people. Attitude is one thing which won't get you far in graphic design. Because when you're good to the client, even though they may be mean to you by not paying, still being patient and good to them sort of brings them back. Because, you know, someone may not readily pay for your services, but they may bring in a bigger client. Because people have links. So you need to have very good people skills. And yeah.
And you must be willing to learn. You can't stay at one place. When I started graphic design, I was doing CorelDRAW. Then I moved to Photoshop. I stood at Photoshop, like I was just there. And people were advancing, and people were learning, and I was just there, and I saw that I was lacking. So if you have the learning ability, you want to learn, you want to push more, yes, you also go for in graphic design. So you must be willing to learn.
Yes.
And also you must be willing to accept corrections and critics. Like if someone says your work is not bad, you must stand, you must smile and want to correct it, because people criticize your work any day. It would be nice for the topmost designer in the world, but a mere someone will see it and be like, yo, it's not nice and blah, blah, blah. Yes. So you must...
Can, Miss Betty, can someone take graphic designing as a job and do it, say, part-time? Some people, you know, people have these side jobs and all of that, but we are talking about graphic designing as a profession. What will be the difference between somebody who has taken it up to his or herself to do graphic designing as a full-time job, as a career, and then somebody who is doing graphic designing as a part-time job?
Okay, one thing I like about graphic design is you can work from anywhere. I've worked in a Chosky before.
Wow.
My boss just called me, blah, 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 my client. I had to open my laptop to do something because it's a client you are dealing with. She doesn't care where you are. She said she wanted it at 5. Produce it at 5. No excuses. That's how we work. So I feel part-time, and someone doing part-time can show you his or her work, and it will be like it's the person's major something. I can say I'm doing graphic design part-time. I can say I'm doing it as a major something. So I think graphic design, and also it depends on the passion. I can sit somewhere and be like, I'm a professional. I've been hired to be a graphic designer for this company, but my passion is not there just because I like the name graphic design. And I'm sitting in an office in a big chair behind a big PC. I'm a graphic designer. But someone doing part-time may over the person sitting at one place doing graphic design. I think graphic design helps you be like, how do you call that word? What's the name for it? free. It's not free.
Versatile?
Yes, versatile. My boss has this word for it because when I first signed up to the company, he was like, "You can work from home."
Flexible.
Exactly, flexible. He was like, "You can work from home," but I chose to go to the office every day. So will I say it's part time or it's professional?
It's that way. It's flexible.
It's flexible.
You can do
I'm
it
doing
as a
full time, but
full-time.
I'm doing it from anywhere I feel comfortable. Yeah.
And so you're saying that even when you're, let's say you're in the washroom and someone asks you to do something, you can pick up your laptop and be working.
But yeah, if
It happens every day.
Yeah, you can send it to the washroom and work.
Then your job is quite interesting, you know.
It's very interesting.
Because some people have the challenge that they would have to be rushing to the office, especially when your workplace is actually far from where you live. And so I think graphic design is something that is a profession that people
Our
should
major tool is the laptop.
actually.
Yeah.
And the whites have made it really like easy for you to carry about. It's not like a PC that is at one place. You have to work, you have to go to work, you know that. You can carry your laptop around.
Anyway, all you need is a good laptop
Exactly.
and a mouse and a mouse pad. But now if you even have the Surface Pro, the iPad Pro, forget all of that. You can work on the go. So you need Wi-Fi. Very necessary.
That's why I go to work.
How do you get to know of the apps that are coming up in the field, like graphic designing? Like you mentioned, you have Photoshop, you have Corel Draw. How do you get to know that, okay, this is an advanced type of Photoshop, or this is an advanced type of Corel Draw? How do you identify that this app is good for this kind of work that I want to do?
So I said, if you're a graphic designer, you must be willing to learn and explore. Don't just sit down and say, "Oh, okay, I went to school, I've been taught Photoshop." That's okay. That's why I follow. She also does. I follow Design Humor. I follow so many designers, and they post so many things. So if they posted, I'm willing to learn. Or what did he post?
Yeah.
And I go search for it, and I find out. Oh, okay, this is what you can use this for. Oh, there's a new software in town or something.
Yeah, so it's by learning, following, researching. I mean, once you're interested in the field, you need to learn everything there is about it. And I mean, every year a new iPhone is released. So every year they upgrade the software. So you just need to know that it's time to get
they'll need graphic designers to do all those stuff.
Come again?
Do they need graphic designers in updating the softwares and all of that?
No, those who made it, update it.
Yes. Those who created the softwares update the software. So
they just like those who created iPhone. They make another one for you. So we have our people who brought up the software. So they're saying, oh, maybe we can make these changes, or we can input this, or oh, this is not working. Because sometimes you have problems with Photoshop. It's taking all that, crashes, all that. So they make
there are different communities. So like she's saying, it's all about following and learning. And once you keep tabs, you will not miss an update.
Yeah. Just like fashionistas. I love fashion. Our always follow someone who is in the fashion industry.
Yeah.
Yes,
You will not miss an update.
Same as us. I follow so many designers, and they post a lot.
I see.
So if you see me on my phone, please, I'm not just...
Well, I read somewhere that graphic designing is not really an art but a science, because you guys go through a step-by-step approach into arriving at a specific design. Miss Sophie, tell me about it. How?
I don't know who wrote that, but I will counter it and say that every art is a science. Because there isn't anything that you do without thinking. But yes, graphic design is not, it doesn't just happen. Because for you to be a very good graphic designer, you need to be a good politician. You need to be a good dietitian. You need to be, I don't know, somebody who's good with geography.
Yeah.
You need to be a good economist. You need to know a lot about everything. So you need to know a bit of architecture, a bit of science, a bit, because you're going to design for these people and others to easily understand what they do. So if you don't understand it yourself, how can you translate it for others to understand? So yeah, people do not understand that. They feel it's an easy thing. Oh, I want to put a car on my billboard. Then there's an app, there's a software. When you open it, you just press car on a billboard. And then they bring some nice car that you're imagining that you haven't told anyone, and it suddenly reach your mind. It doesn't do that. You have to think deeply and bring from within you what you want to communicate. So it's that sort of thing. It's that sort of thing where you need to think a lot. You need to reason a lot. So you need to be a very reasonable person to know that, okay, this is for this group of people. This is how they live. And these are their dreams and their aspirations. What can I sell to them? How can I sell it to them? How can I frame it so that it gets them, it touches them? You need to think about all these things. And now when you start thinking about it, you're going into psychology and all of those. So yeah, it's that kind of science. Yeah.
I see. Betty Adam, can you tell me your biggest contract so far?
My biggest always comes from my where I'm working with. So basically from my biggest is with Ghana Music Live. It's actually an app.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
an app that sells music, but we don't really sell music. We try to sell artists who basically don't have that recognition yet. So it's like we help, and also we help the public to easily get music on the app without having to buy or do other Apple stuff. Yes, and also we do news on the graphic on the GH Music app. So there's news, there's music, there's events, and you can find all of that on the app.
Oh,
I think
smart.
it's the first ever in Ghana.
Oh, wow.
Yes, Ghana
That's
Music
very
Live.
Wow.
Congrats
Check it
to you
out.
guys.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess my biggest project yet is definitely yet to happen. I can think of 3 things that I've done in the past, which 2 of which were like a big dream come true for me. So the first one was getting to work with UMB. When they rebranded and launched to UMB, they needed a Youth First campaign. And so I got the chance to work on that. And I got the chance to meet their MDs and their bosses. I got the chance to meet Nila. She was the MD of UMB, and then she left. But, you know, after that job, I got to work with her again on Capital Bank, and it was such an honor for me. So that was wonderful. The next thing I would consider very big, it was always a dream for me to do something branding in relation to Ghana. And during Ghana 60, my boss got the contract, and I got the chance to work on the branding, the visual appeal for the whole campaign. And that was very satisfactory because it was like one big dream I had. I mean, it didn't expand the way I imagined that it would, but just the fact that I got the chance to work on something like that was very pleasing to me. And the third would be GCB. I did the Dear Money. That was the only thing. Okay, well, I did an internal campaign, but it wasn't a big deal for me like the Dear Money. Because with the Dear Money, you know, you get to meet the boss himself, and those are the moments which, you know, make me feel kind of like special, because they walk in the room and they see a lady and they're thinking, is that your secretary? And then they get to say, no, she's the head designer on this. And they were like, wow. So, yeah. But yeah, my biggest thing, I guess, is yet to come.
I see. We have this segment called the Do You Know segment. And on this segment, we take a jargon or a technical term based on the subject or the topic that we are discussing. And so we are going to put the word on our social media platforms. So do follow at AAU_TV on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Association of African Universities, and on Instagram at AAU TV Official. So you fill in the blank spaces, find the letters, the missing letters in the word, and provide the answer. The first 3 people to provide the answers correctly will win some souvenirs from AAU. So, Betty, give me your final words. What would you like to tell somebody who is reading graphic designing and is confused as to whether he or she will get a job to do, or somebody who would want to join, would want to do graphic designing?
Okay. What I'll say is, graphic design is a nice thing to take up. At a point, I also had this feeling that, is graphic design really for me? Like, I wanted to stop graphic design, but then I mastered the courage and took it upon myself that this is what I want to do. So please, graphic design is a big deal, and it's getting there, because now technology is fast taking over, and if you're a designer, you're dealing with technology and all that. So please, don't lose hope. Keep up.
Ms. Sophie.
Okay, what I would like to say is be committed. Learn all that you can and don't give up. There are always people out there who have done what you want to do, and you can just look at them and learn. And like everything else in the world, don't give up. Never give up. Yeah.
So thank you so much for joining us today to help us to discuss graphic designing. And I hope you at home also enjoyed today's episode. Do follow us on our social media platforms at AAU_TV on Twitter, Facebook and YouTube, Association of African Universities, and on Instagram at AAU TV Official. So you'll be updated on all that it is. If you have any questions, you can leave the questions in the comment box and we'll respond to them on the next episode. So till we come your way next time, bye.